Hello, friends, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen, the Family Connection podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Samantha Hayes, educator, parent, and founder of Beyond the Screen Families. And today we're talking about something that I think a lot of families need to hear right now, and maybe even want to hear. And that's you don't need a lot of money, and you don't need to spend a lot of money to make a meaningful moment happen. It doesn't have to be extravagant for memories to be made. And we don't have to have this huge price tag to go along with it for our kids to think it's special. And if you've been paying attention, you're probably like, yeah, right? She talks about this a lot. Spring break, or I think I just posted something about low budget memory making moments. And honestly, I think a lot of us carry around the pressure that expense connects to the moment. We have this pressure to plan elaborate outings. Thank you, social media and Pinterest, for really upping the ante with that, to spend money on experiences, because if money's not being spent on an experience, then it's not worth it. To keep kids constantly entertained. Think cruise director, camp director. We think we need to plan every single moment, or to make every school break feel special because that's where the memory is going to happen. But that's not the truth. Because here's what I've learned. Kids rarely remember the price tag, if at all, because most often you're probably not sharing the price tag with them. So they're just having an experience. They remember how things feel. So today I'm going to show you how to create an epic family adventure day with a $0 budget. And I promise this is less about spending money and more about mindset. So, why do kids remember the simple adventures the most? When adults think about childhood memories, we often assume kids remember the big fancy vacations, the expensive outings, and the huge events. But I want you right now to think about your own childhood. What do you remember the most? It's usually not those things. Yes, those things are there, but it's something simple. It's the flashlight walks. It's collecting lightning bugs. It's the backyard picnics, bike rides you spent together, made up games that you created, maybe exploring a creek, staying up late in a blanket fort. And why do we remember those things? Because novelty and connection create emotional memory. That's the science behind it, right? Something new, something connection filled is going to create those core memories. Sometimes all it takes is changing the routine, adding imagination, or being fully present. That's what turns ordinary into memorable. So, how do we take an ordinary, normal thing, a normal day, and make it feel magical without the expense, without the stress, without me planning absolutely everything? The secret, are you ready for this? The secret is kids don't need extravagance. None of our kids do. They need intentionality. So let's think about what makes a day feel special: anticipation, participation, and connection. And honestly, one of the best ways to make something exciting is to simply name it. Now, if you know me, you know I love to make outings into adventures. And that's what I call them. I'll say to my kids, do you want to go on an adventure? And they instantly are so incredibly excited. I name it. I build the anticipation. It's often something they don't know about. It's not meant to consume our day, and it's not meant for me to spend money on. So instead of we're going outside, maybe you start with something like today's family adventure day. That small shift matters. Or, like I do, would you like to go on an adventure? The small shift matters. Kids respond to story, imagination, mission, and excitement. You're not just running errands, you're going on a challenge. You're not just eating lunch outside, you're having an explorer picnic. Framing changes everything. Absolutely everything. Small shift, big impact. So, how do you build that $0 family adventure day? Okay, let's break this into steps. Step number 1, start with a mission. Every great adventure has a purpose. So, for example, you might start with find 10 signs of spring. Discover the weirdest thing in the neighborhood and you go out for a neighborhood walk. Build something from nature. Create a backyard obstacle course. Photograph interesting textures or photograph things you love the most. A mission gives kids curiosity and focus. And curiosity naturally competes with screens. It competes and it will win. Step number 2, add one unexpected element. Novelty makes the moment stick. So let's think about some very simple examples. Instead of eating breakfast inside, we're going to go eat it outside this morning. Instead of going on the normal walk around the block, we're going to walk a different way. Maybe on this adventure, we're both going to wear a silly hat or a superhero cape. Maybe we're going to use flashlights indoors and we're going to close all the windows and we're going to turn off all the lights and we're going to have an indoor cozy adventure. Maybe we're going to pack snacks in a backpack like we're going on a hike and go out wandering. One of my daughter's favorite days that she still talks about all the time was the time we went on a bike ride and she got to be the leader. I'm serious. We ended up so far away that eventually, after 45 minutes of riding the bike, I said, honey, we need to head back because we've got another 45 minutes back. And she was still hesitant to hand over those reins to me. But that memory of us going on that bike ride lives on. And it cost me $0. Just an intentional adventure bike ride trip. Where I did step number 3, which was let her lead. This is huge. The more ownership kids have, the more engaged they become. So if we let them choose the mission or map the route, lead the bike ride, create a challenge, decide on snacks, or invent rules for a game, they become more motivated to be involved in it. When kids participate in creating an experience, connection deepens naturally, and screens are forgotten. So now we're going to do step number 4, and that's leave space for unstructured exploration. Don't overschedule the day. Sometimes our family adventure days include me planning one specific aspect, and that's it, and we see how the rest of the day flows. If we don't overschedule it, some of the best moments are going to happen. I promise you. Kids love wandering. They love to build something random. They love to invent games or notice small details. Adventure doesn't need the constant structure. In fact, too much structure actually kills it. And step number 5 is end with a reflection ritual. Before the day ends, ask, what was your favorite part? What surprised you? What should we do next? Reflection helps kids process the experience and it reinforces the connection. These conversations matter deeply. They help bring you back together as your day ends and reflect on what you did that day and why it was so amazing. Now, notice nothing I have mentioned has cost any money at all, but it can leave you with one of the most memorable days you'll have. So, why does adventure matter in a screen-heavy world? Because adventure does something that screens can't. It engages the whole person, the whole child, the whole adult, the whole connection-filled moment. It engages your entire being. No screen can do that. Adventure involves movement. It involves unpredictability. It has us being creative, having conversations, and problem solving. Screens entertain, but adventure immerses us in an experience. And when kids experience real world novelty and connection regularly, screens stop feeling like the only exciting thing available. And that's one of the biggest goals here. Not eliminating screens, but making real life compelling enough to compete with. And honestly, that's why I love all of our stuff. But today I just want to talk to you about that's why I love the adventure bags, because they're built for that on-the-go adventure. Whether you're heading to the park, waiting at a restaurant, taking a road trip, or creating your own family adventure day, Wonder Packs give kids hands-on prompts, curiosity challenges, screen-free engagement, and unique supplies to engage with those prompts in without requiring any setup from you. And your kids, after using it one time, might pull out a prompt again and do something completely different. Or they start getting really creative and they look at the supplies and they make up their own prompt in their head to do. This makes it easier to choose connection and creativity, even when life feels busy. You can learn more about the Wonder Pack and have the link to it in the show notes. So, one short episode, one power-packed challenge. What will your day look like when you spend $0 but make it memory-filled? I just want to leave you with this. Kids don't need constant entertainment in childhood. They probably shouldn't have it. They need moments that feel alive, moments where they explore, where they get to imagine, where they laugh, where they discover, and most importantly, where they connect. And those moments don't have to cost anything. Sometimes the most meaningful and memorable adventures happen right outside your door, or maybe inside your door. Thanks for joining us today and spending a little more of your time with us. Here's to creating more moments that stick. Bye, friends.